Hello, St. Peter's. Welcome back to our 5th summer reading adventure this year. We are so excited to be back outside. It got a little bit rainy for a couple days, but finally we dried out enough so we could come have some fun outside with you. We have our friend Daisy is here, Tommy the turtle, our pig of joy, Magic Monkey, Ralph, and Douglas the squirrel. We are ready for some fun today. How about you? All right, let's see what we have in our adventure pack. Today, I found the book. Oh, and with the book, we have some paper. That's what you're going to need at the end of the story. We're going to make something today that we've never done before. So we have some paper. You're going to need your crayons. Just put that aside for now. You're going to need your scissors, a pencil, and a glue stick or some glue or tape, whatever sticks. All right, but first we need to get ready to hear our fun story for today. Are you ready? Okay, let's get ready for our story. Let's turn up our ears so we're ready to listen. Turn off our mouths so you don't make a sound. Put your hands quietly in your lap. Take a nice big deep breath. And now we're ready for our story. I think I hear a frog in my pond. He's ready for the story too. All right, today our story is A Pig is Moving In by Claudia Fries. All right, let's see what happens when a pig moves in. That might be kind of fun to have a pig moving in next door. Here we go. One morning, as Henrietta Hen was hanging out her wash, Dr. Fox greeted her with exciting news. A new neighbor is moving into our building today. Oh dear, said Henrietta. I hope it is someone quiet and tidy. Nick Hare popped his head out of the window. A clean cat or an orderly mole would be nice. Soon they heard the new tenant arriving. Nick Hare, Dr. Fox, and Henrietta Hen all hid at the top of the stairs to get a glimpse of their new neighbor. When they saw him, they couldn't believe their eyes. He was not a clean cat. He was not an orderly mole. Nor was he a fox, a hen, or a hare. Oh my, gasped Henrietta. It's a pig! Oh, a pig is moving in. That won't do at all. Everyone knows that pigs are messy and dirty and sloppy. Dr. Fox and Nick Hare nodded in agreement. Are they being very welcoming to this new person moving in? No. They're just assuming they know what that pig's going to be like. Let's see what happens. Later that day, Dr. Fox met the pig carrying firewood. Dr. Fox walked by fast and he didn't say hello, but he did slow down enough to see what the pig was up to. And he wasn't a bit surprised when the pig dropped some pieces of wood on the sidewalk. Dr. Fox went to complain to Henrietta Hen. What a mess, he said. That pig has left wood all over our sidewalk. Oh dear, said Henrietta. She went out and looked, but she couldn't see any wood. Dr. Fox must have swept it up, she thought. But it was the pig who had swept up the mess. And then he went to his apartment to build a nice warm fire. So they're thinking that he's really messy, but he dropped some things and he couldn't pick it up while he was carrying a lot, right? So he came back and cleaned it up. I don't know about these guys. They're not being very friendly to somebody that's new. Let's see what happens when Henrietta sees her. Next, it was Henrietta Hen's turn to meet the pig. He was carrying 2 heavy bags of groceries. She didn't say hello to him either. But she did sneak under the stairs to see what the pig would do this time. And she wasn't a bit surprised when he dropped a bag of flour at the bottom of the stairs. It burst open with a puff and a splat. Do you think she'll go help him? Let's see. Henrietta Hen went to complain to Nick Hare. "What a mess," she said. "That pig has left our front hall covered in flour." "How dreadful!" exclaimed Nick. He went out and looked, but he couldn't see any flour. Henrietta must have cleaned it up, he thought. But it was the pig who had swept and mopped the flour. Then he went into his kitchen to bake cinnamon cookies. Henrietta is jumping to conclusions too. She didn't give him a chance to clean up, and she didn't even go ask him if he needed help. I think if I saw him having trouble and dropping things, I would have asked to help. That's too bad. Let's see what happens next. Not long after, Nick Hare met the pig. He walked slowly behind the pig so that he wouldn't have to say hello, but he did wait to see what would happen. He couldn't believe his eyes. The pig was carrying mud into his apartment. The mud was dripping all over the floor, and the pig walked right through it, leaving a trail of hoof prints behind him. Nick Hare went to complain to Dr. Fox and Henrietta Hen. "What a mess," he said. "That pig has left mud all over our stairs." "Disgusting," agreed Dr. Fox and Henrietta Hen, shaking their heads. But when they went out and looked, they couldn't see any mud. Nick must have cleaned it up," they said. But it was the pig who had scrubbed the stairs 3 times over. And it wasn't mud, it was clay. The pig was taking it up to his workshop to make pottery. They're not doing a very good job of being nice new neighbors. "That does it," declared Henrietta, Nick, and Dr. Fox. "If a pig wants to live in our building, he must behave properly. Otherwise, he will have to go." And they marched upstairs to tell him. Wow, this is not very nice. They rang the doorbell. Ding dong, ding dong, ding dong. Hello? Said the pig. He was surprised to have visitors so soon. Dr. Fox, Henrietta Hen, and Nick Hare were about to complain when the door opened wider. A sweet smell of cinnamon floated out, and they heard a fire crackling in the pig's living room. "We noticed a mess in the hallway," began Dr. Fox. "Oh, I do apologize," said the pig, "and I hope I've cleaned everything up thoroughly." Dr. Fox, Henrietta Hen, and Nick Hare looked at one another in surprise. "So it wasn't you who swept up the wood?" said Henrietta to Dr. Fox. "And it wasn't you who cleaned up the flour?" "And it wasn't you who cleaned up the flour?" said Nick to Henrietta. "And it wasn't you who washed away the muddy hoof prints?" said Dr. Fox to Henrietta and Nick. Very embarrassed, they realized that the pig had cleaned everything up himself. "My name is Theodore," said the pig. "Will you join me for tea?" So they did. Dr. Fox, Henrietta Hen, and Nick Hare went into Theodore's bright, clean kitchen and helped him set out tea and cookies. They admired all the cups and pots he had made. In his workshop. "I have a new game we could play," said Theodore when he got it out. Henrietta was flattered to see that he had made a special playing piece for each of his new neighbors. What? Look at that. See the playing pieces? He made a pig and a bunny and a fox and a hen out of his clay. "You have a lovely apartment, Theodore," said Nick Hare, biting into another cookie. Oh, it's a beautiful place, echoed Dr. Fox and Henrietta Hen. They were happily imagining all the cozy afternoons they were going to spend together. What a wonderful new neighbor they had. Look at that. And now they're being friends on the street and helping each other, see? But what a shame that just because he was a pig and they thought pigs were dirty and messy and smelly, they didn't even want to get to know him. They didn't introduce themselves. They didn't ask if they could help him out a little bit. That was very rude and not nice at all. If you have a new neighbor coming around your neighborhood, they're going to be nervous and scared. They don't know anybody, and you know everyone. So the polite thing, a nice thing would be to introduce yourself and ask them for help. Just like when you go back to school and you'll have a new teacher or maybe new kids in your class, you have to be nice and say welcome and introduce yourself so that everyone feels good. And you might be surprised at what special, cool things new people know. Just like Theodore. He did a lot of neat things, didn't he? He made awesome cookies and he made those little clay figures for the game. I thought that was really nice of him. So whenever there's a new person that comes around into your life, whether it's at school, around your neighborhood, a new person when you go to the grocery store you've never seen before, just make sure that you give them a little smile and be kind. Don't ignore them and assume that they're just going to be something you think they are. That's not very nice. And we like to spread our joy, don't we? Yes, we do. Guess what? We are going to make an amazing project today. I'm going to show you the finished part. You're going to need some white paper. Well, you can have any color paper. First, I'm going to show you about a paper, and then I'll tell you what else you can use. We're going to make a house. Now, does it look exactly like the pig's house or apartment? No, theirs kind of looks like this. They have a lot of windows. Mine doesn't have quite as many windows, and the roof isn't quite as fancy. But what I did is I drew out my house, and then I cut out the windows just like a flap, like a lift the flap book, and I'll show you how to do it. And then when you open them, watch this. There's the fox. Let's look in the window. There's Henrietta. How about this window? There's Nick Hare. And this window, Theodore the pig. Then I have a couple more windows that I have made flaps that I didn't add anything to yet, because maybe you can think of other neighbors you might put in the flaps. But how did I do this? Right? It looks like one piece of paper, but it's not. It's two. So you're going to need 2 pieces of paper. You can also use cardboard or a notebook, whatever you have. You could use an old cereal box, anything that you can use to draw or cut something out. All right, so we're going to use white paper today. And actually, I'm going to get out my marker to draw the house just so that you can see it better. Now, you probably want to use a pencil whenever you're drawing anything so you can erase if you make a mistake, because the marker is going to stay. Okay, so you're going to have 2 pieces of paper. So take one piece to start with, one piece of paper, and you're just going to draw your house. I'm going to do this on the back actually so you can see the whole thing. So you're going to start right at the top in the middle, and you're going to make a slanted line like this, to the side. And you go back up to that top, and you'll make it down to the other side. There's your roof. That's pretty easy, right? And then for the next part of your house, you're going to want to kind of go to the edges so that you can make lots of windows and doors. So you're going to kind of go close to the edge and just draw a straight line down from under your roof. Go to the other side of the roof and make a straight line down. And then once you have the lines where you want them, if you want to go over with a marker to make it darker, you can. All right, so then we need some windows and doors and things, right? So I'm going to draw a door down here. It's just a rectangle. So that's a tall line. Go over with a short line and back down with a tall line. There's our door. You can make a window in your door if you want. On mine, I made 2 little windows and I put a little doorknob. Okay. Now, my door is kind of on the side, so maybe on this one, we can make a window right next to the door. And to make it make sure it kind of looks like a window, I'm going to put a window, kind of like window panes in there. You don't have to. You could just leave it open. Some windows are open. And then on your house, you can draw whatever kind of windows you want. Maybe you have a tall, skinny window that almost looks like a door. Your windows can be however you want them to be, right? If you put lines in them, if you don't put lines in them, maybe this one I'm just going to leave like that. Okay? You can put more, as many as you want, windows. And then on my example here, I put one in my roof because I thought it was kind of nice and fun to have like a triangle window at the top. You could make circle windows, whatever you like. Maybe we can put, well, circle windows a little tricky. All right, so there's our windows. Now, here comes, well, before you would cut anything out, you're going to get your crayons and you're going to color in your house. Now, what I did on mine, I'm not going to color the whole thing because I did it on this one. What I did on mine is I actually made my house look like it had lines, almost like a wooden house. And then on the roof, on the shingles, I gave it what's called a little bit of texture, which you probably learned from Mrs. Hogan. So let me show you how I did that. So first for the roof, I kind of wanted to make it so that it overlapped the house a little bit, right? So when I wanted to make some shingles, I just like I went down, over, up. And they weren't perfect. They were all different sizes. They kind of went together. Down, over, up, down, over, up. And then I kind of overlapped them in every row. I just didn't go into my window though. I didn't do that part. I overlapped them and I did that on the whole roof, okay? Which you can see here. And then I took my crayon and I lightly colored it in so that once you color it, you can still see those other lines that I drew. So it kind of makes it look like they're all those shingles, okay? So if you don't want to do that, you can just color it plain like this. So this top part is showing you the plain part, and then this shows you if you want to have a little bit of texture in it. Make it a little different, okay? And then for your house, you can paint your house any color you want. That's the fun part. So on this house, I made it a yellowish color. Maybe this time I'll use this purple crayon. I'm going to show you how I did my lines. It's pretty simple. I just went straight across, and then I went across again. And then when I got to these little parts, I would just do little lines all the way down until I got to the bottom of the window, and then I would go all the way across till I hit another line. So you can do lines like that. You do not have to do lines. Maybe you just want to color your house like regular. Just color it in, okay? So you're going to color your house. Then you're going to color your door. Well, let's color our door first, okay? So I'm going to color the door. This time I picked this teal aqua blue color. Coloring in my door. You can color any color you want. Now, as you can see, I am not coloring all of my picture on this one because I already did it here, and you can pause and color it how you want, right? We don't have to do it all together. So you're going to color in your door. And then if you notice in my windows, I put little curtains in the windows just to make it have more color, make it like each person might have a little bit of a different look in their window. So this one I made like a pull down shade, and this one has some wavy green curtains, and this one has, this is called a scalloped edge. That's a fancy name. The blue, and then somebody had this pink curtain. And then up here, I just put like the lines again, like kind of like wood, those blinds that go across. So you can add curtains in your windows, however you want to do it. Maybe it's a zigzaggy curtain like that, right? Think about who you want to put in the window, and that's the kind of curtain they might have, right? Maybe this one has a zigzaggy on top and then like lighter pink curtain coming down. So there's one. The way I made the traditional curtains, I started at the middle line and I made like a half circle and then another one down. So I made it half circle and another one down, and then I just colored it in. See that? So you can do whatever you want. I'll show you my example again, because you can always pause it if you want to do it like mine, but you don't have to. So then, as you can see, we haven't cut it. We don't have any flaps yet. This one has flaps and this one doesn't. So now I'm going to show you how to cut those flaps out, okay? After you're done coloring. This is a little bit tricky. I know you can do it, but if you try and you're really still having trouble, then maybe you need to ask a older brother or sister, or your mom or dad, someone that's around. They'll help you for a minute. So here's the important part. Don't cut all the way around or you're going to have a complete hole without a flap. So watch me before you do it. The door is pretty easy because it's already on the bottom. So you're going to cut up on the line of your door, and then you're going to just cut the top and then stop. Okay? So I cut up from the bottom and over because that's all I need, because my door is already loose on the bottom. The door is pretty easy. Okay, now watch for the window. I'm going to come to this window. I'm going to take my scissors and my paper. This is a little bit tricky, and I'm going to kind of fold it over a little bit so that I can snip right on this bottom line. I'm just going to make a little snip. Did you hear it? Then when I open it, there's a slit in there that I snipped with my scissors. So I can stick my scissors in that little slit, carefully cut across the bottom, and then I'll turn my scissors and cut across the bottom again. All right, but I'm not done yet. So now I can stick my scissors in the bottom, see? But now I need to go up the sides. So then I'll cut up one side on my window, stop, go to the other side and cut up, stop. Do not cut the top, because if you cut across the top, you're going to cut that whole piece off. What happens if you do that by accident? Is it ruined? Do we have to throw it away? No. If you cut off the whole thing by accident, just get a little piece of tape and tape the top back on. It'll still work. You'll still be able to flap it up. Okay? Let me show you that one more time. All right, I'll show you a window on this side. So you're going to cut this bottom one first. So you're going to kind of fold it like that. Just don't crease it. Just don't pinch it. And then you're just going to snip right on that bottom line. Because then when you uncrease it, you have a slit in your paper that you can stick your scissors in and finish cutting, sorry, the wind was blowing, up the line on one side and the other side. Okay, so that's the bottom slit is cut. Now you got to cut up the side. Go up one side, stop, cut up the other side, stop. Now it will lift up. See that? Okay, but how are we going to put people in there? Because mine, that I already finished, mine has people in there. Well, that's where our other piece of paper comes in. So you're going to get one more piece of paper. Now, if you want this one to be another color, that's up to you. I'm just using plain white paper. You're going to take, whoops, sorry, the wind is picking up. So I'm going to clip my second paper down so it doesn't blow away. So you're going to take this paper that you have cut. Don't do this until you cut all of your windows. I didn't cut them all because you can stop and you can pause it, cut the rest of your windows, and then come back. All right, so all of our windows are now cut. You're going to take your glue stick and you're just going to go around the edges because you don't want to put glue where your window holes are. Okay? So take your glue stick. Gotta roll mine up. Take your glue stick and you're just going to do the edges of your paper. I should have used a purple glue stick because then you could see my glue going on. All the way down. I'm going to go across the bottom, but not my door. Don't glue the door. Skip over that. And all the way down. Okay. Now that it's sticky all on the outside edges, you're going to take your other paper and just line it up. put one on top of the other. Line it up as close as you can. It's okay if it sticks out a little bit. Now, because I only put it on the edges, I can still lift my flaps and open my door, okay? So don't put it in the middle or else your windows won't open. Now comes the fun part. You get to put the people or the animals or whatever you want living inside these little windows, right? So let's say I'm going to use my pencil and I'm going to draw it first before we cut it. So if you want to draw a pig, you're going to make a circle head, just like that. And pigs have little short triangle ears, 1, 2. And then in the middle, make a circle for his nose. And then you put 2 little lines for his snout. Look at that. He can have a smile on the bottom. Give him some nice circle friendly eyes. Put a little eyeball in there, a little pupil. There he is. And then if you want to give him a body, you're just going to start up by his head and just kind of curve down and curve down. Okay. And then I made my pig waving. So remember, the pigs have hooves. So I just made a straight line up. And then I did almost like a letter N or a letter M, down, up, down, and I came back down. Kind of looks like a letter M with long arms. So there's his little hoof. You can do it on the other side too. Make it long and then do a short little M on top and come back down. And then you can color him in however you want. There's your pig. Zoop, hide him up. Can't see him, he's in his curtain. Maybe up here we'll make the little hen, right? So the hen, I made a little head, a smaller head than the pig, okay? And I made a floofier body coming down. And then the wings, I made ziggity zag. So I went like this. I went up, ziggity, 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 zag. Can be as many times as you want. Ziggity, 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 zag. Look at that. Then you got to put a little triangle beak, bloop. Put little eyes. These I just put little dots for her eyes because her head's a little smaller. And she had this nice little red crown on the top of her head. There's my hen. And color her in however you want. Okay? And then we can make the fox. Let's make the fox. All right, so inside the door is where I put my fox. You can put him anywhere you want. All right, so for the fox, the head I made a little bit differently. Let me show you him. Where'd he go? Here he is. See, because he needs a almost like a cone shape because he needs a long snout. Okay? So you're going to make a V, a deep V like this. V, there's your letter V. And then you're gonna round it up at the top. It's almost like an ice cream cone. See that? So I made the V first, it just makes it easier for me. So then at the bottom, you can put his little nose down here. And up here, you can make his eyes. And then give him some triangle ears, just like the pig. And his body I have kind of coming down from where his nose is tipping, is over his, kind of over his body. And then for his hands, I just kind of like made a little paw. You go straight line up and do a couple little weight curvies and come right back down. Same thing, go up, make some curvy lines and come back down. There he is, isn't he cute? You can color him in. All right, and then I didn't cut a hole, but so I'll put I didn't cut this out, but I'll put the bunny right here. We'll pretend I cut it out. So for the bunny, you're gonna make a circle head, long triangle pointy ears, right? Bring his body down just like the other ones. And I made his paws just like the fox paws. You just went up, little paws, waving, saying hi, however you want. Maybe give him a little fluffy tail if you have room down there. And then a bunny has a little nose. And then you can come down like this to make his smile. From his nose, you go down and curve this way. And then you curve this way. Give him some whiskers, some little eyes, and there's your bunny, right? So once you have those drawn, and you don't have to draw the bunny, you can make whatever you want. Once you have those drawn, see how I made my hen, and then I colored in the background a little bit. See that? Here's my pig. The pig has a different color background. Here's my rabbit, or the hare. We call them the hare. And here's my fox. So everyone had a different color background, and I still have 2 to go, so I can think about who else might I want to be living in this amazing apartment. I'm thinking I might put a bat up there. That would be fun. So then, as you can see, I decorated around. I made a little cloud, I made a sun, I did some sky, and down here I did a little bit of grass. You can do that if you'd like. But that is how you create it, so you can have your own lift the flap creation, and people can guess who's in there. All right, isn't that cool? I would love, love, love to see what you come up with, because you guys always come up with such amazing ideas that I don't even think of. So if you make a cool house like this, share it on Facebook so that I can see what you have behind some of your flaps. I would love to see that. Wouldn't you guys love it? They sure would. All right, well, that was really fun, and it takes a little bit of time, but it's a really fun craft to do. You can even do it sitting outside like I did. You have a nice little table. All right, next, we need to log that we have completed our 5th summer reading adventure of the summer. So we already filled out our whole train. I think next we should color our little conductor in, right? So our conductor, let me use my clipboard here for a background, there, now I can color him better. I'm gonna color him in. Let's see. I think he is going to have an orange kerchief around his neck. And I'm gonna give him some blue overalls. You don't have to. Your overalls can be whatever color you want. I'm just gonna make his blue today. There we go. I'm gonna make his hat match his overalls because they're both stripy. How's that? But then he has a little shirt under there. What color should his shirt be? Green? Let's do green. So he's very small, so I'm doing my very best to color him in the best that I can. I even forgot to color his pants in. It's so small. There you go. And you know what I'm even gonna do? I'm gonna take this purple crayon and I'm gonna give him a purple nose. So he kind of looks like a Muppet to me. Give him a purple nose. And then maybe I'm gonna make him, what's this color? Dandelion. He is gonna be a dandelion face, purple nose conductor. Oh my gosh, he's kind of like Bert. All right. There's my conductor. You can color yours any way that you want. So now we've completed 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Guess what? We only have 1 more to go. Can you believe it? The summer is flying by. But before we go, we need to spread some joy. Come on, Joy. Are you ready? Let's see how we can spread some joy today. Let's shake it up. All right, swirl them around, see what we get today. You know what? This is very good because we had this at the beginning of our summer reading, and guess what it says again? Read to someone. I think we picked that out because we're supposed to keep reading in the summertime. I love sharing my stories with you, and I'm sure your family would love to hear you read something to them. Even if it's hard and you don't know all the words, sit down and read with someone. They'll help you with the other words. What a great way to keep reading so that you're ready for school, but also you can do it outside. You can go under a tree. You could have a picnic and then read a book after you eat your lunch. You can do all sorts of really fun ways to read in the summertime. Okay, if you just need to take a break because you've been running around, sit in the shade, have some lemonade or get your water bottle and just sit down and read, even if it's with your friends like mine. What a great way to spread some joy. All right, boys and girls, we did a lot today. It was a busy day and we had a very fun time. I'm so glad you joined us. And I hope you come back for the one more adventure we have this summer. All right? So until we see you next time, don't forget, keep spreading your joy.